Yes, I was speaking on the identity structure. So that's been formulated for a lot of chosen ones um, within the matrix, that has been uh, comprised of a lot of things like projections and people that have been strategically placed in your life, or your family members that have been infiltrated, but led to treat you a specific kind of way so that it can be limiting to you in nature, right? And instill certain programs within you. So when I say it's calling for us to do away with the identity, basically there are particular programs that are residing within you that have been implanted within you through a multitude of tactics, right? Whether it's dream infiltration, or whether it's through, opposition, as far as having particular people placed in your circle, and you know um, definitely childhood. A lot of implantations start very early in childhood, right? Especially for chosen ones. And we grow up, and even though we continue to do our, to continue to transcend, because it's in our DNA and our makeup, so we continue to grow and expand and transcend, we are still at times carrying a lot of particular implanted programs that have been placed within us, whether it's been fear narratives, certain projections from others, and we don't realize we're carrying it, right? And it's calling for, at this time, you know for you to delve deeper and really take a look within yourself and recognize what is belonging to you and what's not belonging to you. Also, for any chosen ones that are in a position where they haven't been making particular cuts in their life, as far as you have to be willing to continue to upgrade and receive your activations and come into who you fully are. You have to be willing to do away with a lot of things that are in opposition or confliction to that. So many of the time, like I said, your family members is not everyone, but most chosen ones. That's just the way it is. Your family is your opposition. That's just the way it was designed by the Matrix, because they already knew who you are based off of your light signature coming in. So they set it up in that way. So for those that are still having like issues of you dragging your feet with cutting certain ties with particular energies, because you have to understand how things operate in the energetic realm. It's more powerful. It's not surface level, right? So they program us to look at everything like um, you know, to be like familial or blood, like, blood is thicker than water, or you're supposed to stick with these particular toxic traits within an individual. First of all of us chosen ones, like I said, I'm not human. We're interdimensional beings that we come here with a particular task and purpose. You know, yes, even if you're born into a particular ancestral line and you're sharing um, particular, you know, you're sharing parents or something like that with, it doesn't matter. That's not your family. Like, your family is your star family, like your cosmic family, your galactic family, right? We just come here to fulfill a task. So these are particular indoctrinations is what I'm trying to say, that the Matrix placed in us strategically, so that many people do not do away with these particular toxic oppositional people that they have intentionally placed in our life, or intentionally corrupted to such large degrees, right? So that they keep a sense of control on us. So I'm saying that for anyone that is still having issues with cutting ties with energies, or people in your life that are not aligned, or so resonant with you, it is going to be very hard for you to transcend further and receive the activations that you need to. If you keep dragging your feet in that area, you're going to need to make those sacrifices and cut those ties. Also, for anyone else that, because your higher self is going to continue to put you in situations moving forward that is going to take you out of your comfort zone. So, you have to be willing to undergo it, because think about it. Tapping into multidimensional awareness is definitely going to take you out of your comfort zone. So you need to show by making different choices in your life or sacrifices that is guiding you to make. You need to show your higher self that you are willing to step in these roles consistently of being out of your comfort zone. I know it's easier said than done, but it's just part of our process. I've had to do it many a times. At this time, I'm in a situation where I'm not even fully stabilized. I've been homeless and, this, that, and the third, but I still show up and I do my mission work because that's just what it entails. I make the sacrifice. I've left a career, jobs. I cut off numerous relationships that were not serving, because like I said, when you realize how these things operate in the energetic realm and how these things pull on your energy, it keeps you tethered. It's like, think of it like a cord or a thread that keeps you tethered to a specific time and space that will not allow you to transcend to the next levels and the next levels when you don't make those sacrifices to cut those cords or cut those ties. So if your higher self is saying leave this job, if your higher self is saying cut ties with this family member, if your higher self is saying, whatever it's saying, in order for you to keep getting to the upgraded levels and the next step, you have to be willing to make those sacrifices. It is easier said than done. I know that better than anyone else, and it's not always pleasant. I know that better than anyone else. But like I said, if you are devoted to your mission, if you are truly about being in your power and completing your task, and being a truth seeker, or wanting to be in the know, or staying firmly in your essence and be free, you're going to do whatever it takes to get there, right? So for me personally, this is just part of my journey. This is how my DNA is. This is how I'm designed. So for me, if you're a chosen one, there's a similarity there. That's just what it is. If you're really a chosen one, you have to be willing to just to do what's necessary and keep going. So for anyone that's dragging their feet in that area, please cut those ties so that you can continue to transcend to the next levels and receive the activations that are going to assist you with coming further into yourself and anchoring into anchoring into your activations and whatnot. Yeah, so the identity structure that has been formulated, it is calling for us to go deeper, to look within, recognize these programs and things that have been implanted. And like I said, because I'm going to start teaching about the matrix, because yesterday I spoke about some higher dimensional beings and an experience of mine, and I'm going to touch and elaborate further on that experience. And this time I'm going to elaborate on the matrix beings, the one that govern the matrix. And I'm going to drop, I'm going to go into my experience, just one of my experiences with that, as I'm being guided to do, just to give people a particular idea. But it's important for you to know these things, for chosen ones. You cannot keep fear in your system. You cannot have fear about these things, because it is time to transcend all of that. That stage of being fearful and all of that is done. This is really the time for us to really step in and encompass ourselves and our multidimensional capabilities, right? And like I said, that's why it's calling for you to do away with the old identity structure, to go further within and recognize the programs that you're carrying, because many of these things have been implanted by the opposition and by the matrix strategically within chosen ones to keep you in a fear stasis, so that every time somebody mentions the word entity, or when you think about trying to reach your multidimensional awareness, you feel sick, or you feel like it's something you can't do. You have to face these programs, and you have to kill them, and you have to transcend it.